so, babe, can't even get mad at you. What a thing, you really swing, and I feel so good, it's true. You're such a gun, make my lungs sound, breathing in the air. Through loving you, I really know, child, just how much I care. Give me your love.
Mic check.
Hello. Oh, hello. How are you? Sorry, this is my shocked face at seeing more than like 2 people at once. It's been a while. I'm just stopping our music for just a second. We're not getting started just yet. But for those who are used to seeing a sort of galvanized tin bucket, this is our galvanized tin bucket for today. It's very on theme, this planter. I see next craning. It's a giant planter. So if you are interested in coming up here and telling a story, it's really easy. You come on down, grab a piece of paper sitting right here, put your name on it, extra points if you want to spell it out like phonetically for me, because I'm going to have to say it out loud. And I pick it out. And when your name comes up, you come up and tell a story. It's really easy. It's really fun. It's really great. All right? Don't all come up here at once. Stop. There's going to be a stampede. All right, we're starting in a little bit.
Hit me with your eyes. I ain't ever seen that kind of view. You walking over here, the way that it went down last when I knew we'd be talking all night, but I can tell you need to work on you like you like you, like you. You be playing sweet, but baby, don't you know that talk is cheap? Can't fool me. I wish that you could back it up for me, me like me. You know that I someone. Call up on me when you don't have to think about it. Love me at the ungodly hour. I don't have the time to teach you how to love all over again. Now let me ask you this: are you giving all that you could give? Once you get it right, maybe just know how much you in. Come in like this. You know that I heard it all before. You're hesitant, but you could give me more. I know you like to play the silly games. When you're done, call my name. When you decide you like yourself, when you decide you need someone, when you don't have to think about it, love me at the ungodly hour. When you decide you like yourself, when you decide you need someone, when you don't have to think about it, love me at the ungodly hour. Love me, 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 love Love me, love me, love me, love me. When you decide you like yourself, when you decide you need someone, when you don't have to think about it, love me happy, ungodly hour. When you decide you like yourself, when you decide you need someone, when you don't have to think about it, love me happy, ungodly hour. When you decide you like yourself, when you decide you need someone, when you don't have to think about it, love me happy, ungodly hour. When you decide you like yourself, when you decide you need someone, when you don't have to think about it, love me happy, ungodly hour. Yeah, baby, baby, hold it on me, hold it on me, hold it on me, hold it. Love me happy, ungodly hour. Yeah. Won't you love me? Won't you love me, love me, love me, love me? Daddy used to take me walking down the street. Daddy used to take my hand, say follow me. Daddy used to leave me back home all the time. I got big enough to run around, Daddy left me outside. He said find your way back. Big, big world, but you got it, baby. Find your way back. Don't let this life drive you crazy. Find your way back. Come back home, put the street lights on. Find your way back. Find your way back. Daddy used to tell me, look up at the stars. It's been a long time, but remember who you are. Circle the light, but one day I might not make it. Circle the light, but one day I might not make it. But you just gotta find your way back. Big, big world, but you got it, baby. Find your way back. Don't let this life drive you crazy. Find your way back. Come back home, put the street lights on. Find your way back. Find your way back. Daddy used to teach me all my moves. Run around, run up to tie my shoes. Itty bitty child with a smile like you. Wild, wild child, look a lot like you. Daddy used to teach me all my tricks. Run around wide to get my fix. Daddy used to teach me all my plays. On a marathon, had to run my race. Find your way back. Big, big world, but you got it, baby. Find your way back. Don't let this life drive you crazy. Find your way back. Come back home, put the street lights on. Find your way back. Find your way back. Yeah. Daddy used to teach me all my moves. Run around wild at the top
Nothing's ever worse than work unnoticed. Freelance now, yeah, I guess you earned it. Life is only wishing we could load it. Level up, you've got to make a bonus. Mystic staring at his phone for oneness. Silver or black mirror, what's the difference? Imitation always gets a bad rep, man. Witch's brew had me on the first sip, man. Smells like autumn, smells like leaves. You don't know that you're rusting up along so much and then get left alone. Left alone. Cloud hidden and my whereabouts unknown. Casadero got me wearing all camo. Decked in Patagonia, I had to tow. Down for whatever, I think I let go. No more shoes or socks, I only rock sandals. I can't tell if I'm hip or getting old. I can hear you, maybe you could change your tone. People tend to listen when they see your soul. Sometimes I think we are from the same place. No, I don't. What just happened?
I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Back when they thought pink polos would hurt the rock. Before Cam got the shit to pop, the doors is closed. I felt like bad boy street team. I couldn't work the locks. Now let's go. Take them back to the plan. Me and my mama hopped in that U-Haul van. Any pessimists, I ain't talk to them. Plus I ain't had no phone in my apartment. Let's take them back to the club. At least about an hour I stand online. I just wanted to dance. I went to Jacob an hour after I got my advance. I just wanted to shine. Jake's favorite line, dog, in due time. Now he look at me like, damn, dog, you what I am. A hip-hop legend. I think I died in an accident, cause this must be heaven. I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify.
It looks good. See, it just makes all the difference outside. It just does. I love it.
All right, all right, all right. That was my Matthew McConaughey. It's pretty good, right? Thank you, Binky. They don't like my jokes at all. People don't like my jokes. No. Welcome, everyone. Oh, you like that? To Grown Folk Stories. Who out there is experiencing Grown Folk Stories for the first time tonight? Welcome. We're so glad to have you. And I also need to sort of check another temperature in the room. How many West Siders do we have in the house right now? Just so you know, West Siders, this was my idea. This is my idea. My name is Whitney Capps. I'm the host of Grown Folk Stories, and I'm so, so pleased to be with you tonight. And I think I say that, or I used to say that in the before times, all the time. But I really, really mean it right now. I mean, for real, like that idea of like being thankful to just be with a group of people. This is probably the biggest group of people I've ever had ever. It feels like ever. It's been a while, right? And so we're so, so thankful that you're here to join us for our first live show in the after times, hopefully. So for those who've never been here before, let me share a little bit about how it works. Those who have, let's refresh ourselves, because I had to do it too. Grown Folk Stories is stories, no poetry. We don't want to hear your type 5 if you're really working on a set. And we don't want you to read. We want you to speak from your heart as best you can. If you have notes, we get it. We also give only 5 minutes. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be doing signage here. Is it okay? I'm going to be doing the signage here. I'm going to give you a sign that lets you know when you have 1 minute left. I am then going to give you a sign to let you know that your time is up. And then after that, and some of you will go after that, there will be a sign that says, seriously. And I'll probably make that face. At a certain point, I'll just come up and clap you off stage. That's just what's going to happen. We also don't have themes for our stories tonight, so whatever is on your heart to share is the story to tell. It doesn't have to be funny, doesn't have to be thought-provoking. It can only be a minute. That's also true. That 5 minutes is a maximum. It is not mandatory. The other thing, and I would imagine that this is probably pretty true of this crowd, and I probably don't need to say it, but don't be a bigot. Don't. Be respectful. Recognize that everyone's story is going to be different and bring the positive part of who you are to this space tonight. Binky, what am I missing? Bathroom, thank you. Bathrooms, if you have not already checked them out, are going to be inside. There's a door just over there to my left, your right. You go straight through there, head back towards the north end of the building, and you'll catch the bathrooms. I think that might be it. Where are we? We're at Urban Produce, you guys. Can we give it up for Urban Produce? It's so funny because I have become quite the fangirl of Urban Produce. I have come here for a Mother's Day outing wherein they taught us how to make beautiful flower bouquets. I've also been here to volunteer. I painted the inside of this. And I get produce from this farm every single week. It's amazing. You guys aren't really as enthused about it as I am, which is okay. I'll work on that. Really getting you guys excited about vegetables. That's my plan tonight. But this is a wonderful space. This space that we're in right now, too, and the space inside is the new event space that they just opened up. We are sort of their first official event. So I encourage you, that's right. I encourage you to learn more about this space. If you're from the West Side, wonderful, but even if you're not, this is a really wonderful space for you to take advantage of. What else? How am I doing? I'm doing well. Wonderful. Wonderful. There's water, chips. There's also some wine, courtesy of Urban Produce, in the back. So feel free to grab some food, grab some drinks as you go through. I would actually really appreciate it because I think it might make some of you a little bit brave after a glass of wine to come out. I wasn't looking at you in particular. It was just an eye contact thing. But, you know, it's here. No, and what I will say, too, is I know it might feel a little bit awkward as we keep going to, in the middle of the show, come up and put your name in the pot. But some people are going to do it. Because once you see what it's like to hear people's stories, to be a part of this community, I guarantee it, some of you will be moved to tell stories tonight. You're over there saying, like, no, it's not going to be me. It's going to be you. I believe it. So I will start telling my story first, I think. It feels only fair. I have a request that someone time me. Who has a phone and can keep time for me? Right there. So you give me the 5, or no, 4 and then 5. Okay, thank you. So when thinking about a story that I wanted to tell tonight, I actually kind of got caught up in everything else that was happening around this space and forgot that I had to tell a story. But I was moved as I was moving everything around and really experiencing the beautiful way that the urban space and the rural, the wild space kind of comes together in this spot right here. And so I thought I would tell a little story about me as a city girl experiencing some nature. So Independence Day 2015, I spent super American. Like I was eating hot dogs and I was drinking a bunch of beer. I was on a lake, a man-made lake, because that's the American way. And I was out on this boat, pontoon boat, with friends of mine. And my friend's stepmother was driving the boat like a badass, just really taking those corners, really like making it happen for us. And it was amazing. We had a fantastic day. I was sunburnt, I was tired, I was probably already starting to get hungover by the time the fireworks started. It was this beautiful experience of being able to see the fireworks above and below while on the lake. So there's like a 360-degree experience. And I was struck by, you know, just how peaceful and calm everything was as we were taking this pontoon boat. You know, she kind of eased up on the gas there. I don't remember her name, but let's say it was Stephanie. Stephanie was just like, you know, cruising us back home after that wonderful day. And I'm just in this space of just bliss and enjoying myself when all of a sudden I feel something. It makes me jerk. I can't even realize what's happening away until I realize there's a wriggling feeling in my ear. It's a really confusing idea, right? I'm out in the middle of nowhere on a lake, and there's something, I thought it was water, so I start shaking a little bit, start shaking the boat a little bit. My friends are like, what's going on? Like, what's the deal, dude? This is our chill time. And it gets worse. The wriggling turns into scraping. Turns into what I think, by that point, I figured out that it's biting. And that there is something alive in my ear. Now, I don't know if you've ever been around someone who has something alive inside their ear, but it's really not a time to judge their behavior because no one wanted to take me seriously. No one wanted to actually consider that maybe I knew what was going on in my ear better than they did. And so as soon as the boat comes up on the, what's it called, dock, I am out of there. And I don't know why I thought to myself that just like running away would somehow get me farther away from the thing that's inside my head right now, but I booked it to the house. And you know, the only person that actually came in to check on me, it was Stephanie. Whatever her name was. And she comes in and I'm sort of like shaking, I'm jumping up and down, I'm trying to do everything I can think of to like make gravity happen. And she's like, wait, what's going on, Winnie? Are you good? Like, I'm obviously not good, but are you good? And she immediately goes into mom mode. She gets a whatever, a flashlight thing that fits on your head for caving. She strapped that thing on. She had me down on the marble countertop, my sunburn all up against the cool marble. She was like looking for it. She was determined to figure out how to get that little guy out of there. And I say guy because, you know, it's coming in my body without me asking. So she was determined. And she goes, I see it. It's big and it's maybe black, maybe shiny. I don't know. What do you want me to do? And I was like, just get it out. And she starts taking tweezers and she starts trying to dig for it. And of course, it doesn't feel that great to me, but I'm gritting my teeth and I'm hoping that she's just going to pop that thing out, right? And at this point, I'm starting to feel some kindred spirit with this little animal because I don't want him there. He doesn't want to be there, right? We're both in the same situation together. So I start talking to him. All right, little, come on. No, just back up, just turn around, just move away. Of course, he's not listening to me. A guy, see? That's why I'm saying it's a guy. And so she's like, this isn't working. We have to actually, like, kill this thing because it'll at least calm you down. And so she starts putting water in my ear. And it's not working because, I don't know, physics. And I've got all this water just dripping down my face, and it's got blood in it, and I'm just like, okay, this isn't working. So then she says, let's get some oil. So she pours oil into my ear, and on my face as well. Not on purpose. But I slowly sort of feel the thing stop wriggling, stop fighting, stop scratching. And in that moment, I'm actually like a tiny bit sad. Not because I wanted it in there, but because it just seemed like such a crappy end. Right? You're all saying the same thing. Like, yeah, Whitney, is that it? Is that the end of the story? So here's the end of the story. I decided that I was going to sleep, try my hardest to sleep on that side, let the oil carry it out. Days I waited for a sign that that bug was coming out of my ear. There would be a little leg here, maybe a little antenna there, but it never really came out. So I think it's still in there, is the answer to my story. And so you're wondering, Whitney, why did you tell us this story? Like, where's the moral? What am I supposed to learn from this? And honestly, it's just the look on all of your faces is why I continue to tell this story. Thank you. And I know I went over. Hopefully not too bad. All right. Dr. Smith? Come on up. You guys, give it up for Dr. Smith!
Was not expected to get called first. Someone has to go first. I'm right. Okay. Yay. Great. Second. I don't even know why I'm here. I was guided to be here intuitively. I don't know who is supposed to benefit from the message or who isn't, but I want to share. And I want to specifically share about what has been my healing journey. Because there once was a time that I was a public success and a private mess. That was really the result of growing up in chaos, growing up in traumatic experiences that taught me that I needed to rigidly try to control what life looked like. The version of the life that I created actually was restricting the breadth and the flow for the life that I was actually called to have. And unfortunately, messages were coming to me from everywhere, whether it was signs, literal signs saying, get help. Whether it was friends who said, are you okay? Of course I'm okay. Why wouldn't I be okay? Everything's great. Because I had learned that sometimes the goal or the trick was to make things look good without actually focus on them being good. And it actually took a number of experiences, particularly I'm thinking about maybe 2 years ago today, where I felt like I was at the height of my life in terms of nearing the end of my PhD program, really being in a successful place, externally valued successful place in my career, and everything seemed fine. And in the same month of July of 2019, where I defended my proposal to give me permission to do this incredible study about anti-blackness in higher education that I was creating or manifesting, that I spent 6 times in the ER because I wasn't well, because I was putting everything and everyone before me. I knew that I had a light to shine and to give to others, but I never considered that my light was actually for me too. I actually never thought about that my light needed to be for me first. So many times I see people doing what I used to do, what I still have to fight the temptation of doing, and that is putting others before themselves, literally. And the response is always the same. But I have to. What would this person do without me? I'm here to help. I'm called to serve. Great and tangible things. But we have to serve our own vessel so that we can help others. What tends to happen is we provide people water. Water's great, right? Substance, the things that we need to help them grow. But pouring people dirty water, and again, it accomplishes the goal because water is water, but it's still dirty. And it's dirty because the actual picture for which we pour from is not well. It took a long time to actually do the work. And sometimes I hate when we say healing. So I feel like I am committed to, for every day that I'm on this earth, to begin to unpack and demystify what we mean by healing and growing. People tell you shit like, just jump and everything will be fine. But I think people need to know what it actually feels like to fall. What does falling actually look like? Will it be better than what I know? Because I'd much rather stay in the existence that I actually know than to actually promote and call for the unknown version of me that will actually be expansive, bright, incredible, will allow me to live a life that I've never even conceptualized. Consider the possibility, if you find yourself in this moment, in any moment, realizing or feeling like there may be another being, or that you find that you are stuck because you're afraid to actually go there. You don't have to necessarily go there all at one time. It's a process. But I'm giving you the invitation today for whatever that looks like to choose that. And I'm honored. I haven't been to this event since the summer of 2014. And I got up and very similarly was able to talk about the beginning of what was a transformative experience. Again, no concept, no thoughts. I felt like I needed to be here. I was here. Don't know what'll happen. Nothing will happen. If anything, this is another part of my own healing journey because I got to share an important component of why it's necessary to heal.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm really glad that you wrote doctor on your paper. I'm glad that I got a chance to address you in this space as doctor. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I had a client today talk about how she was a lifeguard. I'm an executive coach, so I talked to a whole bunch of different kinds of people about a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff all day. And she was talking to me a little bit about how she remembered being a lifeguard as a young person, and that message of like, you can't pull someone out from underwater when you are underwater yourself. And so how do you get yourself to a space where you can be supportive of others? Don't neglect that. Thank you. I'm glad that whatever told you to be here, told you to be here. Thank you. Theodore, where did he go? All right, Theodore is coming up. He's going through some obstacles to get here. As he's coming up here, I will say, if you follow this man on social media, you will see amazing pictures of him roller skating or videos of him roller skating, and he's a professional clown, you guys. Like a really good one. Theodore, come tell us a story.
Thank you, Whitney. How's everybody doing? I'm Theodore Thompson, and if you all know me or remember anything about me, there's two things that I like to do. Oh, this might go Whitney now. One is I like to chill and enjoy that space that I'm in and explore what it's like to just chill when I'm in my zone. The other part is I like to treat moments like this as my support group. So let's consider this being our support group right here for right now. And I really do need support right now from you all because I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. First of all, I never wear skinny pants. You know. And secondly, I never really show the skin on my legs. And thirdly, I wear pants so low that you don't get to see my socks. And so, you know, I'm working through that. The other thing is I got a story to share with you that I've never shared ever in my life before. It's a little embarrassing and a little funny and a little gross. But this takes you back like 20-something years ago. Yeah, I'm telling my age, but, you know, we all old anyway. Some of y'all older than me, and I'm older than some of y'all. So there was this one time when I was like around in my 20s, and I was wondering why every time I went and took a shower, and it was summertime, but I was taking like 3 and 4 showers a day and wondering like, how come it feels like my butt is still sweating? And you know, I was just having this little struggle, and so I felt like a little bump on my butt, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. So my mother wasn't home, so I called her friend, and she say, what it look like? And I said, I don't know. I didn't have no mirror to look back there like that, you know, but, so then, she said, I need to see it. Come over here. So when I get over there, she said, let me see it. I say, she said, just pull your pants down. Now turn around. So when I turned around, she said, now grab the wall. She grabbed my butt with both of her hands on one cheek and squeezed it like this. And I was like, ah! I look back. Now this is the gross part. I'm just let you know. It was nothing but pus all over her face. And she said, you got a ball. Turn around. You got to get it make sure the head come out. And she squeezed again. I screamed again. I was in so much pain that when I went home, I just soaked in a tub. And then I said, you know what, Mama, I need to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and Dr. lanced it out. They just cut it and let it leak out or whatever you call it. But, I mean, I'm saying that because that was just an embarrassing moment. But the other thing is, don't let everybody put their hands on you like that. You know, not everybody know what they're doing. You know, I got scared because she said, you gonna die. But for real though, yeah, thanks, and that's my story.
Yeah. Does everybody know who that is, by the way? It's Eric Williams. Eric Williams started Grown Folk Stories with Cara Burgundy 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, 10 years ago. That's almost puberty. I was just told by Eric that for the cutting of the mic is just because we're standing a little bit too close. So when you come up here and tell your story, some of you are going to come up here. Just make sure you take a step back. All right. I don't have words for what. I really feel like we've started on such an interesting tone. My gross bug story, Theodore's very classy butt boil story. Doc, you're really just keeping us classy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Where's Gwen? Come on up, Gwen! I feel like she thought for a moment, she was like, I could just skate by. This is getting gross.
Thank you. Right, you said right around here?
I think maybe one step. If you start hearing it cut out,
Okay, all right. Hi, everybody. All right, so I had just picked up Nia. Probably we were 10 minutes into our drive. And she goes, hey, Riri. I go, yeah, boo-boo. She goes, can we go get some chicken nuggets? I said, we can go get some chicken nuggets. So I pulled over, and we got to McDonald's, and I'm just like, wow, I had a flashback. Because I'm about that life, right? That 3T life. Nia is my great niece. And I was introduced to Nia on the day that she was born, and we bonded. Now, my great nephew, Xavier, who's her father, I was in a delivery room when he was born. And he's traveled, he's sang, he's done so many things with me. So when I looked back, I saw Xavier because Xavier rode in the car with me, and his favorite meal was chicken nuggets. So I'm like, oh my God, like it is a lot going on here, right? So I kind of got misty, but you heard me say I'm about that life, right? That 3T life. So Xavier's mom, I started taking care of Angel when she was 2 weeks old. Okay? So I got a chance to help raise my niece. Angel passed away at 26, and Xavier was 8. But Xavier was with me all the time. And his story was, when he was born, the doctor said, hey, you can go over there and you can be with him. Go ahead. So I went to touch him, and he grabbed my finger. He looked me dead in my eyes, and I said, he's going to spend so much of my money, right? Because I'm the auntie times 3, but I don't have any physical children. So when Xavier got older, he changed the story to say, I said, this is going to be my little puppy. And I'm like, I did not say that at the hospital. I said, you're going to spend my money. So I got a chance to just really think about it. So Nia will be 3 years old on September 1st. Because Nia hangs with this 50-plus chick right here, Nia loves to go out to dinner, and she's been doing that just like I did with her dad. She loves the Cheesecake Factory. She prefers the brown bread, and I like the white bread, so we don't fight. Nia loves to shop. Like her mom was like, it's your fault. Literally at JCPenney, they have racks. And she's like this. And her new thing is she wants these frozen shoes with high heels. And she goes, hey, Riri. I go, what? I like that. I said, I bet you do, because your auntie like high heels too. This is what she does. She sees something, she takes it to her chest, and then she throws it in the cart. And her mom says, it is your fault. I cannot afford my own child. But guess what? Angel told me the same thing about her son. Because when you're an auntie times 3 and you have no children, what do you get a chance to do? Spoil all of the nephews and the nieces. So I just wanted to give you a little glimpse into my life. Because remember, I'm about it. What kind of life am I about? That 3T life. Shh.
Gwen, I love it. I love it. I love it. And remind me, Gwen, I met you in Forest Park. I love it. I love the crossover. You're going to be hooked, girl. I can't wait. We're going to see you at Grown Folk Stories all the time. How many of you have a woman in your life that is like Gwen here? Someone who spoiled you, someone who was not really supposed to be responsible for you, but was responsible for you all the time. I think we need to normalize Auntie's Day, Mama's Day, Daddy's Day. What about all of us childless aunties? We have the best life, though, I gotta say. It's having all the fun, and then you just send them right back. You just send them right back. That's uncle life? You're right, it's uncle and auntie life. We don't have a word for that in English, do we? I'm normalizing nephew as well. Louie! Louie, come on down! For the uninitiated, Louie was a Grown Folks regular and then moved to Denver? Graduated, and now he's back. He could not stay away. Give it up for Louie, y'all.
Thank you. All right. So, one thing you should know about me when listening to the story is about 10 years ago, I had horrible back problems. All right, so this happened after my 3rd back surgery. So I was thinking, you know, they put 7 screws, 2 plates, and a fake disc in my spine to hold it together. Grueling recovery. And while I'm doing that, you know, I'm doing the physical recovery, I thought, you know, I'm going to spend my time, I'm going to take some community college classes and get some credits, you know, work on my brain while I'm healing my body, and it's going to be good. So, of course, you know, as the class is ending towards the end of the semester, I have procrastinated the shit out of studying for this final. I have cleaned every surface in my house like 3 times over, and still, like, I just can't bring myself to do it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get my body, you know, I'm going to make my body feel good. Then I'll be in the right headspace to do it. So I have a good workout at the gym. And afterwards, you know, in the shower, doing my thing, you know, washing everything. And I start washing my leg, and I bend over. And I feel this pain in my back, this, like, it's like this scraping. I was bent over, and I had dislocated my rib. I could not move. All right, now, the pain was bad. But even worse, I'm bent over in a YMCA shower, and when I look over for help, I am at height, all right? I am just looking around at old man Dick, old man Dick, old man Dick, just staring right back at me, and I'm like, I can't move. And I have just, I'm stuck in that drop the soap pose, you know, just like, Now, the only person who could help me at that moment was my brother came to the gym with me, and he was taking a shower. He's actually right back there, Max. Thank you very much for helping me on this next moment. So I look at him, and I'm like, dude, I need you to pop my rib back into place. And so here's the thing. The way you pop a rib into place, all right, is you get someone in a full Nelson position. You know, you get your arms around them, okay? You got to lean back in, and very quickly, you bust out the shoulders and push them forward. And that's how it pops back into place. So I'm like, okay, Max, I'm explaining it to him. This is what we got to do. Gets me into the position. I'm noticing all these guys looking at us like, what the fuck are they doing? All right. So he does it, pops it back. it doesn't go in. And you know, we're in there, you hear that like skin slapping on skin sound, and they're just like, everyone's looking around like, I don't think this is that type of locker room, okay? But I'm like, look, man, you didn't do it. He's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, you gotta push harder. He's like, well, you go fucking hard. I'm like, I can't fucking move, just do it. So now take two, goes in, pops it up, rib goes into place. Thank God. I'm like, all right, so luckily I was able to finish the rest of the shower. Yeah, thank you, Max. I appreciate you. So luckily it's all in place. You know, I was able to finish the rest of the shower without incident. As we're driving home, I'm sitting in the car and I just, I feel the rib popping out again. I'm like, oh shit. We're stuck at home. My back's like too raw for it. It's like too swollen for it to pop back in. So I spend the night, I can't study. I can't even sit up. I'm lying down in a bed. I get maybe an hour of sleep. And I'm like, great, this is the universe telling me, you know what, Louis, you procrastinated. This is how you get punished. All right, so I got the class in the morning. I didn't study at all, but I'm like, you know what, I've got 3 hours. I can take my time. I can fill out the answers. I can check my work. And very luckily, I was able to get my rib popped in that morning. And I'm so tired, so I just drink a metric fuck ton of caffeine. And I'm like, I'm wired, I'm ready. I get to the exam, and like, I sit down in the chair. And as I sit down, I lean forward to type in the first answer, and I feel that rib popping out. See, but at this exact moment, my stomach grumbled. And it was a loud, ferocious grumble. And I realized how much caffeine I drank. And I had to take just the biggest shit of my life that is coming in right at that moment. I squeezed my ass cheeks together so hard. I made that shit clap, all right? And holding it in together, it sent like a sonic boom, like literally up my spine. I'm clenching so hard that I clenched the rib in place. Small miracles, people. Small miracles. But I am stressing. I've got to take this exam. I'm clenching. I am like sweating through like an undershirt, an overshirt, a sweatshirt. I'm just trying not to get it on the keyboard so like the computer won't freeze. And I just, you know, I've got 3 hours to take it, but I can't last that long. I finish in 26 minutes and I'm like, I need to get out of here. I just need to go. So I quickly submit. I go to the bathroom. I shit out a premature baby out of me. I am just like, it is, that bathroom is off limits for a while. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I am exhausted. I am in pain. I am dehydrated. I'm going to check my answer, and I'm just check the score and see what I got, and then I'm going to go sleep and hate myself at home, because that's all I can do at this point. So I go into the computer lab, sign in. I'm waiting for it to load. And when I looked at my score, I got 100% on that final.
I thought maybe he was going to drop the mic there. That's great. I feel really kind of awkward. Those of you who have not been to Grown Folk Stories before, people are going to be like, how was it? And be like, people talked about butts. People talked about ribs. People talked about ears. It was just more like body stories. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Thank you so much, Louie. And Louie, we are so glad you're back in Chicago. It's about to be, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So excited. See that? Anybody can do it. Come on down. That's right. Let's do this. Jenny. Come on down. Hey. I resisted the Forrest Gump impression.
There's always one that does the Forrest Gump impression. Hey, everybody. It's been a really long time since I've done this, so I'm really excited. I'm the type of person that is always, I'm a perfectionist. And so I'm that person that, like, I can't have fun until I've done the work, right? Like, you got to go through the hard thing before you get to really enjoy yourself. So I was the kind of kid that, like, I would eat food I didn't like first to get it out of the way before I ate the good stuff. And I was the kind of kid in college that, like, I couldn't go to a party until I'd finished that paper. And that really carried through into adulthood as a teacher. It was like, I can't have fun on the weekend until I've done my lesson plans. I can't enjoy myself after school until I know I've done a good job at work. And so it's always about getting through the difficult part. Like, everything will be okay if I can just get through this thing. And so in the summer of 2019, I was dealing with a breakup. I got dumped, right? And I got dumped by somebody that I didn't like that much. Like, I thought we should break up, but he dumped me, which always feels extra hurtful. And so, but I was like, I just got to get through this breakup, and then everything will be okay. And so I do. I go through the process of healing from that. And then after I'm feeling finally better after this breakup, it's fall of 2019. I'm a teacher. I'm the union delegate, so it was the strike of 2019, and I was getting up at 5:30 a.m. every day to get out to the picket lines and organizing my staff. And I was like, I just got to get through this strike, and then I can enjoy myself, and everything will be okay, and I'll have a good time. And so as soon as the strike is over, my sister, who is the smartest person I know and also struggles with a mood disorder, had the worst episode that she's ever had. Like, standing on top of cop cars, rushing her back and forth to the hospital, chasing her down through abandoned buildings, and it was like a couple months of that. And I was like, I just got to get through this. We got to get her out of the hospital. We got to get her back on the right page. We got to get through everything. And then everything will be okay, and I'll be able to enjoy life. Everything will be good. And then it was March 2020, and we all know what happened in March 2020, right? And so it was just, well, I just got to get through remote teaching to the summer. And I did that. And then it was like, well, I just got to get through remote teaching and through the fall, and I did that. And then we got to get back to school, like back through the whole process of getting back into things and dealing with my principal and dealing with the union negotiations around that and getting written up for telling parents things about school that I thought they should know. I just got to get through this year. And so I have spent the last year just waiting for the hard thing to be over. And I made it, right? Like, I don't know if there's any other teachers here, but congratulations. If you know, it was a rough year. And so I made it to this summer that I felt like I had finally deserved. And I was like, I can finally relax now and enjoy it. And so last night, I got a phone call. My favorite aunt, real close to me, my mom's closest sister, saw her, multiple times growing up throughout the year. She had struggled with cancer, and she beat it 11 years ago. But last night I get a phone call, and she says it's back, and it's stage 4. And I just kept thinking, well, I don't want to wait for that to be over, right? Like, that's not an end I'm looking forward to. And so today, and I appreciate all of you for having this moment with me, right? I'm realizing that there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something in your ear or something in your butt or like a dislocated rib, metaphorically speaking, right? And I can't wait for the bad thing to be over to enjoy life. And so I appreciate all of you being with me today to have that realization that, like, there's always going to be the bad, and if we just keep on waiting for the bad to be gone, we're going to miss everything else. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. That's right. So we need to have fun even when we have butt boils. You guys. You guys are going to walk away with such weird reviews of this show. We're on a roller coaster together. No, Jenny, I so appreciate you sharing that. And I will highlight this a little bit about this story in that, like, this is a thing that just happened for her. So maybe the thing that just happens for you is the thing that you need to say. I just want to do another quick poll, because apparently I like doing that. How many of you feel like what Jenny had to share tonight, maybe what Doc had to share tonight, was actually for you to hear? I've been talking so much about our storytellers that I forgot that we have the best listeners. We have the best audience in Chicago. That's what I said. That's what I say. I say it all the time. Because you guys are ready and excited and willing and open and encouraging for whatever comes out of this person's mouth. I mean, it's me right now, but whoever has the mic, this is a crowd of people that will hold you with whatever you have to give. I watched. Nobody walked when the butt boils were happening. So if you have a story that you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, it might not be the right thing to say, or I didn't practice it, or oh my God, Gwen was so good, I don't know if I could be that good. It's not actually about being good. It's about being here. Just sharing whatever it is that you have to share. That's my PSA for people to tell stories. John C. Come on down. Was that the right time to call you?
The first question is, who is this Boy Scout looking motherfucker? The answer is John, and I'm Lily B's chauffeur. Now, you may know Lily B as royalty of grown folks, but you're asking yourself now, how the fuck does Lily B have a chauffeur, and how is it that tall white dude standing up front? Well, let me tell you. I've gone to a lot of live theater and a lot of small stage theater and a lot of storytelling shows, and it became evident after a short period of time that, fuck, the shows with Lily are way the fuck better than a lot of the storytelling shows in Chicago. So I started hanging out with her. And she will tell you, I didn't send for this person. I did not send for you. But over time, we became colleagues, friends, partners. I call her my best friend. Here's an Afro-Latina from Humboldt Park, best friends with a tall white man living up in Edgewater. That's just true. Now, it's also fair to say that I've taught Lily some things. I've taught Lily about really good sushi, really good scotch, olive Isla, smoky, peaty. I've taught her scotch. In my job as a marketing professional, I've had to write some proposals for her, done it gladly. I've taught her a few things. Lily has also taught me a few things. So, for example, how y'all be acting so brand new? Now, I will tell you, all the front-end developers and all the back-end developers at my firm use this phrase with account managers all the time. Because I just taught it to them. How you been acting all brand new? What was the other one? Dry snitching on yourself? This comes up a lot. So, I mean, there are hours and hours and hours of phone calls, especially during COVID. I mean, I want to say that our record was 4.5 hours. It started about 10 o'clock and went to about 2:30 in the morning. Now, this is a little uncomfortable to say, but during one of these phone calls, I asked Lily, what does G mean? Because she would refer to me as G, and I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. I didn't know it was a good thing or a bad thing. So she explained to me what G means, and I'm grateful for that, and it's still a little weird. Most important thing Lily has taught me, aside from what really excellent storytelling is, because she is, in my opinion, best storyteller in Chicago, and if you want to learn storytelling, take the fucking class. Most important thing that Lily taught me is Captain Save-A-Ho. And I said, what is Captain Save-A-Ho? Now, in all these conversations and these road trips that I have done with Lily, we've told a lot of stories, and there are stories that I am still not willing to tell in public that she knows, that she's saying to herself right now, motherfucker, drop this, tell that story. And I'm not, because I'm still not ready to tell that story. But she told me about Captain Save-A-Ho, and she had me look at the fucking video. And it's funny because part of who I am as a storyteller is I always write brand new stuff, and I've got 30, 40 stories that I've told live on stage all over the place. And now every one of those stories are changed by virtue of, if I give you my wallet, will you love me? And that is just fucking true. The first marriage, the second marriage, all the time I spent with the alcoholic, the suicide attempts, her suicide attempts, the gal down in Braidwood. I've lived my life thinking, if I give you my wallet, you'll love me the way I want to be loved. Now, we've had several conversations about this, and we went late into one night. And at the end of the conversation of this big reveal on Captain Savaho, I said, swear to God, I said, oh, you mean like Johnny Depp on Pirates of the Caribbean? And she said, motherfucker, you are so white.
Oh, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Lily, for inspiring that. I think there's always that debate, like cultural appropriation or appreciation. John, I think you're really tilting to that appreciation side. And I'm appreciating you for it. So much, so much. I'll just share a very, very, very quick story. I had a woman, I was doing a workshop for a board that I'm on, actually, and it's about change and how it's very important to honor every single step of the change process. Like often, and I'm sure there are people who are going to be like, oh yeah, I've been through that. Where like your organization is like, oh, we're changing something really important, so be on board tomorrow. Like that's not actually how human beings work. You need to give people time and opportunity to deal with their change. And so we were doing a workshop around how do we manage the changes that are happening in our organization around race, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, creating a more equitable board structure, what have you. All good stuff, right? And I had a woman say, well, you know, I'm just really nervous because I'm not sure how to talk to black people. And I said, oh, I'm black. Like, you do know how to talk to black people. You've been doing it this whole time. There's no one way to be black. There's no one way to talk like yourself. But I have to say, I really appreciate that you're pushing John in a different direction. That's real. That's real. That's real. That's real. I appreciate it. Wonderful. I appreciate it. And I will also second, as I'm pulling the next person, I will also second that taking Lily B's storytelling class is awesome. Lily, are you doing classes now? Virtual classes now. She's going to get up here at some point, so I'll let her tell a little bit more about it. But I've taken her class. It's amazing. Really, really wonderful class. Autumn? Where's Autumn? Come on down, Autumn! She just. Look at timing.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Autumn. So I was just thinking, echoing everyone's stories today. No, I didn't have a boil on my butt. But just about life can be a lot of things, especially in this last year. It can be terrible. It can be really fun. But what it can always be somehow at the end of the day is funny. I don't know how, but it can be. And so I want to tell you about a story about this thing called Senior Week. I went to a really small liberal arts college in rural Ohio. Very particular experience. It was on top of a hill, and below it was a village because it's not big enough to be a town. And we were far away from a city, so everything we did was like, it was like its own microcosm, kind of, you know? And this story makes me think about a thought that's been in my mind a lot this year, which was, we always think about, you know, the past. We're always like, oh, I wish I could have done this differently or whatever. And we think a lot about the future, like, I want to be here, or I want to be doing something, right? I got to breathe. I'm not breathing. I wasn't. Okay. So, but we really forget that, like, the moment that we're in is where we dreamt of being at one point. And that just passes us by because we're obsessing about the future, the past. But this particular moment, I remember being like, oh, I was supposed to be here. And it was really fun. So senior week is for seniors only. I was a freshman. I was a first year. And I like stayed on campus because most of my friends, including LaShonda over there, she was 3 years older. She was a senior, and I wanted to stay because senior week, everyone just did whatever. It was a free-for-all, right? Like, kiss whoever you want to kiss, make that move, have sex on the football field, do whatever you want to do, right? So that's what everyone did. And you want to experience this the first year. So I stayed, I snuck on campus. You can't swipe your card or the security will find you. So you're just sneaking around, got to have people open doors for you. Can't go out until it's dark. But you stay. So there was this one night, we're in an apartment, and I think it was like a night before graduation, so everyone's getting really rowdy. And we went to one friend's apartment, and I'm with my Lion sisters. There's 6 of us in total. And there's a stripper pole on someone's table in their dorm. It's not sturdy. It's literally on like a round table. It's on a table. It wasn't supposed to be there. And it's in a basement apartment which has a really high ceiling. But of course we're like, yeah, like let's go on the stripper pole. So I did my little thing on the stripper pole. And we're just having fun, you know? And this is why I'm so happy for the very slow yet fast progression of technology, because TikTok wasn't around, Vine had been phased out, whatever. And I didn't have a Snapchat. But anyway, so I do my thing, then our friend Janice goes on, and she's like, call me Chicken Nugget, because she loves chicken nuggets. And so she does her thing, too. Yes, just like, no, you're Riri, but just like your baby, I get you. So then she does her thing, and I'm like, okay, I want to go back. Call me Cinnamon, because if I was a stripper, that would be my name. I think it fits me. So I'm like, call me Cinnamon. So Cinnamon gets back up there, and I'm like, I do a twirl. Tell me why the pole falls, like hits me in the neck, like falls. Like I didn't realize what happened at first, but it hit me in the neck, and it was like not good. But I was okay. I didn't realize what happened, but everyone around me is laughing so hard, except for Chicken Nugget. She's like the only one who's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I'm like, "What happened? Like really?" And then everyone else is laughing so hard. One of my Lion sisters deleted her Snapchat video because she was laughing so hard. Like her finger pressed it, so thank goodness, because I would have never lived that down. And then the next day, you know, we just went all night, just like doing whatever we were doing. I don't know. Like I remember there was one time we were driving. It was raining. I was extremely too high. Like there's a lot of things we were doing. But the next morning, really the main part was about Chicken Nugget and Cinnamon. But the next morning, we were trying to go to graduation, and they had these shuttles, which were like, okay? They had these shuttles, which were like golf carts to take on the hill because it's a small school on a hill. And my Lion sister, Aurelie, she was just too lit still. They ate an edible, and it hadn't worn off. And then we're on the golf court, and Aurelie's about this big. And so she's trying to adjust her dress, but she's like high and drunk at the same time, like 10 hours later. And we start going uphill, and I catch her because she's flying off the back of the golf court. And I'm like, oh my God, Aurelie, don't fly away. Like, no. And then it's just like the hills and everything. We made it to graduation. I remember graduation. It was so heartfelt. All my people graduated. But that was a moment where I had a really great time. I didn't really think about a lot of my convictions in life at that moment. I was a first year in college. But I just like spent a lot of really good times with people that I love and that I know. And it wasn't, you know, there was mess. But it was just like, you know, a moment that I was really happy to be in. I still hear about the stripper pole thing all the time. I get TikTok videos of people falling off of poles and being like, oh my God, this was what happened to you. Thankfully, there's no evidence. But yeah.
Oh, Cinnamon. So amazing. Makes me feel like maybe I didn't do college right. I don't know. I was immediately saying, oh, stripper pole, someone's going to get knocked in the head. Was there anybody, what was that? Oh, in the neck. I didn't predict that. Is there anybody that like knows moves on a stripper pole? Is anybody like really good at yeah, I was really waiting for you to bring out like, I did the seahorse. And then after that, I did the wandering angel or whatever. Later on, I'm going to ask you what my stripper name is. Oh, we wanted to take a quick break, right? One more. Toaster. Come on down. Ooh, with the wine in hand.
They have, ooh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. There's wine back there. If you like wine. Excuse me. I haven't performed at anything for a year and a half. It used to be fun. It's a lot of y'all looking at me. So I was on a mountain in Colorado visiting somebody that I was dating at the time because I was in a place where I thought that was a good idea to date somebody who likes mountains. The thing about dating somebody who likes mountains is that they need to introduce you to the mountains you like. I was there to meet her father, you know? So I got off the plane and I had nice shoes on. I had, I put it together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to say that I look nice. I'm saying that to say I tried to look nice. You know what I'm saying? I put money down to be presentable, And so she picks me up and we're driving to what I think is her father's house. So we're on this mountain and she pulls over. And the last time that I was on a mountain and someone pulled over, she got out the car. This other person got out the car, ran over to the other side to where my door was and said, "Get out." I don't know if you know what it's like to be a giant person who's terrified of a much smaller person than you, but when there's like a peak, I just had this image in my head of them going, "You have to see this, you have to see this." Oh! So anyway, she gets out of the car and she's like, "We're going to climb this mountain." Because that's a thing that people do apparently. And she finds this rock and she climbs up this rock because she's like, "Look, there's graffiti on it." Because I like graffiti, but the issue there is that this graffiti was on a rock 6,000 miles above the ground, overlooking death. There was no strings, there was the straps. I haven't done this before, but I was very much in love. So I'm like climbing up after her, and then I realized like, man, I'm really good at this. Like I could fuck around, I climb some mountains, be a mountain ass. Just be, whatever those people do. And I was like, there's got to be like the setback, whatever you're doing, whatever you like, you know what I mean? You get good enough and then it's like, oh, well, there's this one thing you didn't think of. For me, was going back down. I didn't know how to do that. And then like right as I realized that, like I felt my ankle just like, and like I got to look at how far up I was, and it's just down. Like it's just tree, rock, rock, tree. I think that's all that humans know. After that, it's just corpse, corpse, corpse. So like as I'm like putting it together, like I got to figure out how to get down. I managed to say something and it came out like, "Help!" And the thing about saying help is that there's no specificity there. There's no context, right? It could be like, "Help, I'm learning a new thing, and I'm looking forward to you explaining this in a really joyful voice." Or I'm finna die, and I need you to tell my mom I love her. That this is a foolish idea, just like she told me it would be. So anyway, I black out, right? Completely and fully black out. Like, my limbs go limp, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't be awake for this. And like all I remember is her like trying to talk me through it. Like, all you got to do is keep 3 points of contact. Keep 3 points of contact and nothing bad will happen. Just you got to nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Keep your leg. But she's above me, so even if I fall, like there's no like she wasn't gonna save. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I lived, right? I survived. I'm here. Thank you very much. But after that, she drove me to meet her father. We drive into this gated community, and the security guard was like, some man next to you. I don't know. And, finally we get to the garage, and there's like 5 cars in the garage. And, like, on the way in, she was like, what kind of house do you think? And I was like, one with rooms. I like cars. Anyway, I met her father, and needless to say, I didn't look so good. My shit was all fucked up. My shoes were broken. And that's the end of my story. Thank you very much. Don't go mountain climbing.
Oh, I'm so glad you lived. Yeah, that going down. It's not for novices. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute intermission. I'm fancy. And so there is wine and non-alcoholic things back there. There's also a restroom in there. There's also this right here for you to put your name in, tell a story. Okay, go.
So, baby, can't even get mad at you. What a thing, you really sweet, and I feel so good, that's true. You're such a gun, make my lungs sound, breathing in the air. Through loving you, I really know, child, just how much I care. Give me your love. has to bring to you. Don't worry about no attitude. You just be yourself. Could live with you in solitude and need no one else. Give me love, give me love, give me love, give me love, give me.
Lay back, chill in my flow. All I wanna know is if it's cool. We can do a little something, something. A little something, something. Oh, baby. So we can kick a little something, something. Even though she pays me no attention, all I wanna show is my affection. Lose myself inside her ebony, but she ain't even checking me. Oh, yeah, it's cool, baby. We can do a little something, something. A little something, something. Oh, baby. So we can kick a little something, something. Honey, do sugar chocolate something, yeah. Sister with a certain something, something. Flavor with a cocoa kind of flow. Baby, baby, act like you know. Yeah. Oh, if it's cool, baby. I wanna ride. Oh, CK with you, baby. Oh, yeah. Only if it's cool, baby. Do a little something, something, yeah. With you, oh, baby. We can kick a little something, something, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby.
You don't want to do all the way down? Ladies, I should know that you're not supposed to do that. Friends? We might as well come back. Hello, mic check. It sounds good. All right, gang. We are going to start the second half of our show momentarily. I want to make a quick announcement. If anyone has a wine opener on their key ring, you are officially our best friend. Please head back to the back and claim your prize. It's wine. And now we all have the prize of more wine. And I'd like to request, hey, Binky, would you grab me a glass of... Oh, I'm too far. I'm way, way, way too far. All right, we are going to continue with the second half of our show, which you've guessed it is more amazing stories. But before we do that, I actually wanted to invite someone up here to talk a little bit about this beautiful space that we're in. So we have, and I'll actually shout out a couple other people who are here helping make this happen. We've got Audrey in the back. Where's Audrey? Who manages the farm. She's chief executive mom here at Urban Produce. We've got Barry over here. Barry, I saw you put your name in the bucket. I'm very excited for that. Barry is also co-owner of the space. And Miss Alicia is going to come on up because I want her to tell you a little bit more about what Urban Produce is doing and how you can get involved. Come on up. I was trying to time my thing so that you would. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight. I know you've heard before that this is our first official event, so we're really excited about having you guys. So I guess I'll start with the mini story since everyone's telling stories tonight. But so my name is Alicia, and me being co-owner of Urban Produce is literally a manifestation of everything that I've dreamt of. So I guess I want you guys to walk away with, no matter how crazy your dream is, write it down and manifest it, because you never know how it will manifest itself in your life. Okay, so I've always been a girl nerd, always been interested in science. So I have a degree, multiple degrees in molecular biology. But as I was finishing up grad school, I was like, okay, what the heck am I going to do with this degree? Because I don't necessarily see myself being in a lab for the rest of my life. So I was like, okay, how can I use my science for the streets, basically? How can I communicate my science to the masses? So, as I was finishing, and I always have been very motivated by green spaces. So I go to a nature preserve and I get my life, or I'll go to a floral shop and they have it beautifully decorated, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so energized. So that, and then I also have always wanted to, teach. So how can I combine all these things? I meet this guy on the street, literally walking my dog, and the rest is history. So I started off here just managing the greenhouse. I was finishing up a degree. And so this place started off as a greenhouse, and this space that you're sitting in now was just a bunch of raised beds where we did our CSA, our yearly CSA. And now, within maybe 2 years' time, really, it's 2 years' time, my time, but it's 10 years' time, Barry's time. So this has also been a very long journey. So within all this time, 2 years' time now, it has developed into the 2-acre working farm that you're sitting on today. Okay. So kudos to Barry for literally piecemealing this thing together and making this Black girl's dream come true, right? So Urban Produce started off as a nonprofit in 2016. We had to get creative during COVID, and we transitioned to a for-profit. So that's kind of where we are now. So we're a working farm. We have diverse growing practices. So we grow hydroponically in the greenhouse, and we also have our outdoor production area. Each year we produce about 20,000-ish. Where's my farm manager, Lucy, in the back? All right. It's about 20,000. Yeah, 20,000 pounds of produce per year. So the ways in which you can get connected with Urban, you're asking. So we have our subscription service, which is our CSA. It's called the Market Box. So you can get a box of produce every single week. Whitney is a subscriber. We also have classes. So we have both farming classes and wellness classes that we're kicking off this year. So we have really, really affordable yoga classes coming your way. So about $10. I mean, you can't beat that. And we also have tours every Friday at 2 p.m. that you can come and really tour the working farm. And we also have volunteer hours that we normally post on our Instagram if you follow us. So yeah, if you support Urban, you're supporting the local community. So we're really big on local employment, and we're really big on educating the youth. We normally have a youth internship every single summer where CPS students come and they learn farming skills. And they learn that those skills are actually they can transfer those skills in other, job markets. So they like, oh my God, I'm excited something new. But then they also get to apply those skills in other areas of their life. So yeah, that's urban produce in a nutshell. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I hope you got, and our newest thing, events. Hello. So right now you're sitting in the Coop, which is basically a gathering space. So me and Barry was just saying, we're so happy that this is the first event because this isn't really what we want people to do in this space. We just want people to gather. And so the Coop is just this outdoor courtyard, which is dedicated to Jens Jensen, and our indoor event space that you can rent. So it's information in the back about our market box, our classes that are coming up, and the rental information for the space. So thank you guys for coming again.
Oh, thank you so much, Alicia. I know someone out there just recently got engaged and is looking at this place like, ooh, I could get married right there, and then we could go dance floor. So talk to Alicia is what I'm saying. Oh, Binky can officiate. If you want 7 claps at your wedding, it's a really great idea. Really great idea. Oh, that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. It's a thing. Austin is going to take his time coming on down here. Oh, no, I was just going to introduce you. I was going to do a thing. Austin is super wonderful and handsome and great, and he's going to tell a fantastic story. Look at that mane. Look at that mane. Come on down here. Get up for Austin, gang.
Thank you for that introduction. Damn, my voice sounds like that. That's fucked up. Okay, there we go. Before I get started, I just want to give it out to Binky. Give it up for Binky, everybody. Clap real quick. I can't stand this motherfucker. I really can't. But when you went to Thailand, we didn't have that rivalry, and I missed that. So I'm really glad that you're back, and I just wanted to say that on the mic. Thank you. I appreciate that. So this story is called Grandpa and the Turtle. Is that better back there? I appreciate y'all. Grandpa and the Turtle. So my grandfather's 97, grandmother's 91. They just recently decided to sell their property, right? This is 36 acres in Missouri, right? And this was a big deal for us because, the property's been in our family for 5 generations. Right on the edge of a forest preserve, right? My grandmother's garden is in the middle of the driveway. My grandfather used to have cows, right? It was just this big, beautiful space. And the thing that I remember most about it was the pond that we used to go fishing in. And for as long as I can remember, my grandfather used to take us to this pond, me and my brother, right? And every summer we used to go fishing. And when I went there to help them move, those memories started coming back, and I was just like, wow, man, those were some really phenomenal times. Except for this one motherfucking time, right? So we're fishing, and my grandfather believes in fishing all day long. Don't make a difference how hot it is. We're just out there, right? So I'm 7, my brother's 5, roughly, right? We're out there fishing, hot as fuck, ain't get a bite all day. My brother's lure is in the water, and you see it bounce, bounce, loop, right? Finally, a motherfucking fish, right? We eating good, a motherfucking fish. It's about time. We hot as fuck, right? So my brother's trying to reel this fucker in, right? And it's too big for him. He's 5. So my grandfather's like, help him, help him, help him. So I grabbed a pole, and I'm trying to help reel it in, but it's too big for both of us. So finally, my grandfather grabs the pole, and he brings in this fish, right? Except when it crests the water, we see 2 feet and this fucking head that pops up, and it's yeah, right? This is fucking turtle head that pops up. And I want to stop the story here parenthetically just to say that I grew up in the 80s, right? So I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. Donatello was my favorite. okay? And we're just gonna, because I don't condone anything that's about to happen next, all right? So my grandfather's reeling it in, and he brings the turtle onto the dock, and he's like, I think we're gonna have some turtle soup. And I think that he's joking, right? But my grandfather's country, he's from Alabama, he is not joking. I did not know this at the time, I'm 7, right? So I knew that he was serious, and he was like, go up to the garage and grab the toolbox. I was like, oh shit, right? So I went up to the garage, I grabbed the toolbox, big heavy toolbox with all his lures and all this stuff, right? He's got the turtle and he's got it underneath his foot. He reaches in the toolbox, he grabs a pair of pliers and he grabs a pocket knife, just like the pocket knife he had, right? He sticks these pliers in the turtle shell, grabs it by his bottom lip, and like he's sawing this head off with a fucking pocket knife. I'm 7. I like Donatello. What the fuck is going on, right? Like, I'm losing this shit, right? And like he has this soup can, and he's like putting all the turtle guts in there. He's dismembering it, and he's like, yeah, so we're gonna eat good tomorrow. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? Like, what are you talking about? We're gonna eat a damn turtle. No, this is not what I signed up for, right? So we walk into the house, and he's getting ready to put it in the freezer, and I look at my little brother. I was like, do you want to eat a turtle? He looked at me. He was like, no. So I'm sweating bullets. I'm fucking panicking because we are not allowed to leave the table until we eat our entire plate. And he's going to make us eat this fucking turtle, right? Like, I'm not here for the shit. So I'm just having this little minor panic attack, and I see this car come up the dirt road. It's my mom. She came back early to get us, right? I swear to God, I love my mother to death. I love to see her every day. I've never been so happy to see her as I was in that fucking moment, right? Like, she ran through the door. I remember squeezing her with all of the life of me. And she was like, I think we're going to go tomorrow after dinner. I was like, no. I'm ready to go right now. We can get in the car. We can leave in the morning. We're not staying until dinner. You don't have to feed me. I'll just eat crackers and fucking water. It doesn't matter. 6-hour drive, 8-hour drive, I don't care. I will shut up, never be bad again. We just need to leave, right? She saved me from that day. But when I think about how traumatizing that moment was for me as a 7-year-old, as my grandparents get older, I realize that these memories matter. These things that we thought were traumatizing to us actually have meaning, right? My grandfather's 97, my grandmother's 91. I know that they're not going to be around anymore that much longer. And like, it just goes to show you the things that we think affect us that are negative actually end up building us. And those things that you think that hurt you are the things that you would give anything to hold on to. Thanks.
Austin, thank you so much. And honestly, I don't want to, pick a fight with you over your story or whatever, but like Raphael, obviously. Oh my God, you guys. I had a crush on him. I also had a crush on Robin Hood, but the Disney Robin Hood, the one who was a fox. Yes, she knows what I'm talking about. I was like, I need to watch this alone. I can't watch this with you, Mom and Dad. Oh, the lion from Lion King, Nala? Oh yeah, Nala when she was back. That was a look. The original thirst trap. Also, another serious question. Do people eat other turtle dishes? Is it only turtle soup? We're only doing, that's it? It's just soup. Okay. All right. I just wanted to know. Thank you. Oh, that's not. It's not worth it? Why? Because there's not that much meat? Oh, all the work. Yeah. Yeah, that's real. I mean, we'll continue the debate later. Why? It tastes like beef is what we're hearing. So, you learn things every day. Binky!
Thank you. All right. I've been thinking about what story to tell. John actually is inspiring this a little bit. John is Lily's token. Awesome. I know. He's going to take it to work. I'm a token. I put that on G. I'm like, take it easy, John. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I lived in Thailand for like 4 years, right? And, man, I'm a big black dude living in a different country. And man, the way I'm getting treated is brand new for me at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm discovering what white privilege is, and it's fucking lit. Like, hey, I get it now, guys. I get it. Like, I wouldn't tell nobody about that shit either. I'm like, I'm same as you, buddy. Same as you. Privilege? Nah, it was fucking lit. I loved it out there. I have a great friend out there named Matt. Matt is like Tennessee white. Like, Matt got a ponytail. He rocks like fatigue with leaves and shit on it. He looks racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, his town he's from in Tennessee is hella racist. We've had long conversations about it. And I like on some traveling shit, like you meet people who as travelers, they're already on some different shit. Like they already knew that something was wrong where they were at and they had to find something else. You know what I mean? So like I always gave him like mad credit for that because he lived in a super conservative town in Tennessee and he's out there with us being hippie as fuck, right? And so we're having a conversation one day, we're high as fuck. And he's such a man, he's such a woke ass white country motherfucker, man. Like I love this dude. He's my bro. It's my brother. And I'm smoking. I'm like, man, Matt, you know what, bro? I love you, man. You a good dude. He was like, Banky, I love you too, man. I was like, hey, you know what? I love you so much, Matt. Like, if the when the revolution hit, I'm gonna be like, Matt, man, come on, man. Come on, man, come on. He was like, all right, now, shit, I'm gonna hold you to that. Like, I'm not fucking around. It looks crazy. I'm gonna be like, Binky, because you said the thing, remember? Can I? And I said, but Matt, like, I'll never like trust you, right? Like, like must be, you're my brother and everything, but I'll never like trust you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that. He was like, yeah, I know. I was like, you my nigga, Matt. Like, tell me why you know that, Matt. Tell me why you know that. He was like, well, shit, man. History has proven that you can't really trust me. I'm just be honest with you. And I was like, go on, Matt, go on, nigga. He's like, all right. He's like, shit, we've never abided by one treaty. Not one. Not Trail of Tears, not 40 Acres and a Mule. We have not abided by one treaty. He said, I'm just saying, history serves, it would behoove you not to trust me. Like, every time you do, I'm like, oh, shit, And I'm sitting there, like, kind of happy because I've never heard this kind of perspective from, from a white person. But he said, and I was like, man, I fuck with you. I'm so happy that you understand that. You have an understanding of that. He was like, but Bink, you got to understand something. And I was like, what? He was like, how can I put this? And this is his words, okay? This is his motherfucking words. He said, Bink, man, my nose can't take in as much air as yours can. I was like, huh? Go on, Matt. go on. I'm interested. You're losing me, but go ahead. No, he's like, nah, not his. I'm saying I can't run as fast as you, man. He's like, man, my skin can't take the fucking sun. I was like, true. Well, you can't take the sun. The sun makes everything grow. What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Get it together. He was like, man, we feel like ever since we got here, things have been trying to kill us. He said, we feel like ever since we got here, everything's been trying to kill us, and so we're scared. We're scared of everything. We're scared of you. We're scared of each other. Scared of everything. We grab guns. We are scared. And I had never heard that perspective before. You know what I'm saying? It was my first time, and if you tell anybody, I empathize with a white male. Don't tell nobody. But honestly, it was a weird thing to hear because I have a weird habit. It's new during quarantine. And it is, I like to kind of like troll white people. Oh, that's all right, thank you. Wrong sign, Whitney, Jesus Christ. I kind of like, not white people, like on the internet I find like, we'll have boards of like Trump supporters or people like far right, whatever. And I like to kind of like sneak in their DMs. You know what I'm saying? I do. And I do the same thing. I love that shit because I have the space for it at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the space for it. And I say this sincerely, like I've been away, like I let go of a lot of shit that we are born with, you know what I'm talking about? So I feel lighter. So I'm like, let me talk to this motherfucker, see what he's talking about. Yo, they're insane, bro. They're insane. They're fucking insane, G. Like, their cognitive dissonance is like miles apart. You can come with facts, you can come with feelings, none of it matters. None of it matters. I found that out. I still have fun doing it, you know what I'm saying? But like, hearing that perspective from him was like, put me in a different mode. And it let me know that like dialogue needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, I do the trolling because it's fun for me, but you know, the dialogue needs to happen. All said and done, our distance between each other is the reason why racism is easy as it is. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Billy Bob does not know Terrell. You know what I'm saying? If Billy Bob knew Terrell, then maybe, you know what I'm saying, we always be at each other. You feel me? But like, having that kind of dialogue is necessary. So talk to your people like Lily does. You feel me? All right. Thank you.
Oh my God, Binky, we're going to have to run it together. It's so much fun. I also understand that, you know, maybe now that the world is open, there's better things to do than troll racists on Reddit. It was quite fun for a while. I haven't done it in quite a while. I also want to call out Binky, if I can, for just a minute. When Binky went to Thailand, he had never had a passport. Like, I remember that there was also Binky's lovely and we love him. Binky and like paperwork is just like not a thing. It just doesn't really work very well. And so the process of him getting a passport, I remember it was like a thing. And applying for this residency, this was supposed to be 4 weeks, 3 months. And he got fired 1 week into it.
I quit a month and a half in.
It was mutual. And this motherfucker found a way to sustain himself and be there, having never been out of the country for 4 years. This is the resilience of this man. But I also point that out to let us know that, like, travel is not beyond us. I get it. COVID, Whitney, blah, blah, blah. I know. But if you don't have your passport, maybe do some paperwork. It's not that hard. Try to travel. Try to have experiences. Try to meet weird Americans, but also in another country. There's so much out there, and I just really, I'm always inspired when I hear you tell your traveling stories, because I remember when like that was not a thing for you at all, and I'm just really proud of you for doing that. I think. Don't tell anyone I said something nice about Binky. Lorena. There you are, baby. Lorena and friend.
Hey, everyone. So, I know I look young enough, but this is not my baby. This is my baby's baby. So, in honor of today, which is actually my mother's, 65th? Would be her 65th birthday today. Me and my sister and my daughter came out. And so I decided that I would tell a story that leads into another story. So I got pregnant with my daughter when I was 14. And so I figured I'd tell the story of like when I told my mom I was pregnant, and then tell you the story of like when my daughter told me she was pregnant. I feel like they go together. So I didn't actually tell my mother. The bad part about living with multiple women in the same house, your cycles sync. And so I was betrayed by my own body. So my mother comes to me and she's like, hey, you haven't asked for any like pads this month. Is everything good? And I'm like, oh no, everything's great. What are you talking about? And she's like, should I be concerned? And I'm like, absolutely not. Don't be concerned. Nothing's going on. So she waits like a week, and still I was smart, but I guess I wasn't smart enough to fake that. So she comes to me with a pregnancy test. Now I am like a perfectionist, overachiever teenager. So I have like all these extracurricular activities. So I was able to put it off for some time. She's like, hey, I brought you this test. I need you to take it. I'm like, well, I have basketball today. I'll take it later. She's like, okay. And my mom worked like 12-hour days. So she was often out of the house. So she couldn't really force me to take it because we only saw each other like in the mornings. But then And this is before like everyone had cell phones. We were still on a house phone. So I slipped up like a week later, and I'm in the house, and she calls the house, and she's like, hey, are you home? I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you have anywhere to go? You have anything to do? And I'm not thinking. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm staying in the house. She's like, okay, go take that test and call me back. And I'm like, no. So I called her back and told her the results, and I think that was the first time I ever heard my mom cuss somebody out, because she was a very nice lady. And then she got off the phone with me, and then I got another phone call like 5 minutes later on the house phone, and was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss you out. I don't know what you're doing. This is going to make it so much difficult. So fast forward 20 years. I come home from work, and I have like a very open relationship with my children, because I just want them to be able to talk to me about many, many things. And my daughter comes to me with her boyfriend at the house, because he's very supportive. And she comes to my room, she's like, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, okay. She's like, actually, it's better if I show you. And I'm like, okay. So we go to her room, and she hands me 2 pregnancy tests. And I'm like, whose are these? Obviously, if she's handing me 2, they're hers. But, you go into shocked mother mode. I'm like, whose are these? And she's like, I'm like, are you pregnant? She's like, yeah. I'm like, why? How? What the? So, long story short, I go through like all these different emotions mentally of stuff. And so the one thing I tell her is like, well, you beat me out, so I'm happy for that. Like, you waited 5 longer years. Proud of you. And then secondly, I was like, so you do know we had an agreement. I am way too young to be a grandmother. We had this agreement like a couple months ago. I talked to you and your 11-year-old brother and said, hey, you guys are not to have children until I'm 40. Did we not have this conversation? And she's like, I know, I'm sorry. I'm like, how am I to tell people that I'm a grandmother? This is really weird. And so we went through all of that, and then, of course, and that was about a year ago today also. So she's here, and she hasn't been able to be old enough to go to a grown folk story until like right before COVID. And so this is her first grown folk story also. So I like to say I didn't cuss her out like my mother did me, because she's in a different place than I was at that age. But here's our product of that. So, and yes, he was born with all this hair. This is not a wig. We don't have a lace front. None of those things. So that's my story.
Yes! Baby's first grown folk stories. I was talking to Eric about whether or not we should get merch. What do you think about onesies? It was a joke. It was a joke. He is a grown folk story. I love it. I love it. And I really appreciate just that idea of like the sort of cycles of it. Like, what does it feel like one generation on? How are we going to make things different? Or how are they going to stay the same? And I so appreciate that you guys are here as a family. We love you guys. Thank you for being here. I was trying to be like caring. It didn't really work? Okay. Binky doesn't approve. Ben! Where you at, Ben? Ben? All right, Ben. We're sad. It was probably going to be really good. I saw somebody moving in the back, and I thought maybe that was Ben, and then tried to change his mind, so I was trying to guilt him into coming up. It didn't work. Angie! Oh, there she is.
This is my first time. Not. He's been pressuring me for a really long time. My first time, not. Actually, yeah. Actually, take a picture. You know, you gotta do the job. Don't break it. All right, so I was really, it's my first grown folks story, and I was like, man, I gotta be real deep. Like, I gotta find something that is good, and I'm gonna revert back to what I originally had. And I warned there might not be any moral to this story whatsoever. But, a lot of people in Chicago, I'm Chicago born and raised, and my dad actually was, a Chicagoan, and, he was deep in gang life. So I grew up knowing a lot about Chicago gangs and gang life, unfortunately in Chicago, we hear a lot in the news about the gang life. What we don't hear is how the animals be gaming and out here. Let me get to it. So one day, it was a lovely spring day, and I go for lunch. This is years ago. I'm working downtown. I go and I want to go for lunch outside. It's like a nice warm day. So I go and I'm eating this salad out in like this big field by the Chicago River, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. And I see I'm going to call them a gang of geese. And I know you guys seen them. I know you've seen them. They have their turf. You see all their little shit everywhere, and that's like their graffiti. That's how you know. So I'm like, oh, look at this. It's spring. It's beautiful. These beautiful geese, Start getting a little closer. I'm like, okay, looking really good. Looking real cute. Getting a little closer, a little more closer, right? So I have to stand up at that point. And I'm like, oh, I got my salad. What do I do? People are like seeing, I'm like, okay, do I look like I don't know, So standing there, and these geese, they start kind of making these like intimidating noises. They stole my salad. Like out my hand. Like it was one of those like things, and I'm like here, I'm like backing up, and it's like lunging at me. And then it takes my salad, and then it eats it in front of me, and like looks at me about it. And like I'm like feeling a certain type of way, and people, I turn around, and people like watch this happen, and like everybody's just kind of like, wow, like, yeah, that just happened, So like, you ever go back to work and your coworkers ask you how your lunch is? They're like, oh, how was your lunch? I was really excited to go eat this salad. I'm like trying to be on a diet and shit. It's like spring, I'm like, diet's done. Salads got stolen by geese, but we don't need to talk about that, whatever. And they're like, wait, what happened? Geese stole your salad? Like, yeah. Turns out they had a geese story. They were on the bike path, and a geese got in their way, was gonna fight them, everything. Look, I told you there was no moral to the story. All it is that just be careful if you see a gang of geese. It gets very real. That's it.
Beautiful. Also, can we give it up for stories with no morals? That's right. Don't be judging people's stories. It's fine if it really makes people feel some kind of way. I'll just share a very quick story. I remember being, one of the things that my family was really into when I was little was taking us to different ballparks. Like it was a thing where it'd be like, oh, we're going to Cleveland. Let's go see I set myself up, and now I don't even know what the baseball team is in Cleveland. Wait, do they even have a baseball team? Okay, I'm not saying that one. But they would be like, oh, we're going to wherever. Let's make sure we go to a baseball game. And I can't actually remember what park it was at, but it was on like a man-made lake or pond or river or whatever. And I was like 6, maybe. And so like the best thing about baseball when you're 6 is like the ice cream and the little mini helmet. So I'm like getting my little ice cream, my little mini helmet, da-da-da-da. And we go and sit down. And no joke, a seagull just smacks me in the side of the head. And then my mom takes my ice cream because she's convinced that there's like feathers or dander or whatever inside of it, which, by the way, good job, Mom. I feel like that's like really high-class momming. But yeah, I just got smacked in the face by a seagull. Patty. Oh, Patty. Is this you? Oh, I hope nobody put your name in. Do you want to come tell a story? Come on, Patty. Okay, there's 2 Patties. There's 2 Patties. Come on, actual Patty. Double Patty. Double Patty. I love it. Patty, please tell your story.
I got a taco in my hand. Thank you to my homie for bringing me a chicken taco. Okay. So, no, my friend brought it. And of course, I'd be called in the middle of my taco, but whatever. I'm okay. I mean, thank you though. So my story is, a few years ago, me and a lot of homies, actually this is my 3rd time telling a story. I took Lily B's class, 2015, 16. I've said a story at Rosa's Lounge and then in Pilsen. So thank you, Lily. My story is about 2 years ago, me and a couple of friends, Facebook friends, we created a non-monogamy support group for Black, Indigenous people of color. And we actually got invited to present at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. They had a sexuality panel and all this stuff. And one of our requirements, like, okay, yes, we'll do the panel, everything. Our only requirement is that it remains for Black, Indigenous people of color only. And their response was, oh, we were so excited for you to be do a symposium, but we cannot accommodate that because our registrants are mainly white. And I was like, I don't care if one person shows up. I don't care if no people show up. Put us on the schedule and give us the space. And they were like, okay. And we also used to meet in Pilsen, and we also got a lot of hate from white people, specifically flicking us off, all this other stuff I don't want to get through, whatever. So we do our symposium, we do our panel, we have our little, we got our snacks, we got our speaker, we got our music, all that good stuff. And guess how many people show up? We had 30 people show up. And they all registered. They're like, once we saw you on the schedule, they're like, we had to come. We always want. There's people from all over the country too, not just specific to Chicago. So we for about a year and a half before COVID hit, we were doing these support groups for people of color that are non-monogamous and navigating that whole space and everything. And it was a beautiful thing. And since then, our collective has kind of gone on, done mutual aid stuff. Defund CPD, things like that. But we had a great time. We documented all of it. You could see it on Instagram. We're the non-monogamy baddies. And we're starting back up in August, so that's a shameless plug.
Wait, Patty, do you want to say it again? You said it really quick. How can people find you?
Okay.
Do they have to be a Patty?
No, you not got to be a Patty. Be a non-monogamy baddie. But we are, it's on Instagram. It's just non-monogamy baddies. One thing. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. We are getting close to the end of our evening, and I know some of you are saying, but Whitney, you didn't pull my name yet. I'm supposed to tell a story tonight. Here's the thing. You're not guaranteed to tell a story, but here's what we'll do for you. If we end the night and your name is still in this bucket, what I do is I take a picture and I have those names. So next month, you are guaranteed to tell a story. And I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit. Those who are regulars know that my whole thing is I don't tell you when you get to go. I just pick your name out. Here's what I'm going to do. If you don't get to tell a story tonight and you really want to, next month, you get to flag me down and everyone gets to stop what they're doing and you come up whenever you want. All right? I mean, I feel like that's a sweet deal. That's a sweet deal. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be our last one. Well, not like mid-story when someone else is telling a story. Okay, yes. I'm sorry. You can come up at any time when someone is not currently, like this moment, this thing that I do, when I'm like finding the thing, this is the time to flag me down. Binky. All right, this is going to be our last story of the evening. Mr. Joe Miller. Where are you, Joe Miller? Oh, you guys, that's who I thought Ben was. Come on down, Joe Miller. I don't have any way to introduce you, but as I said Ben, Joe Miller started to move a little bit, but then he stood still. So I was like, I think he just changed his mind. All right, here we go. Joe Miller, everybody.
Oh, wow. Hey, everybody. This is really cool. Really happy to be here. I am connected to Barry, who started Urban Produce, and he invited me to come, so I am a first-time storyteller. I know Barry because he lets me paint every surface he has available, including the wall you have in front of you here, which is an ongoing work in progress. as well as the outlying fence and the shipping containers on the other side, and multiple projects through another company Barry works for, because he's an overachiever and he makes us all look bad. This is so great that I get to tell the story, because I have to tell you that before I tell the story, this past Friday I went home to Southern Illinois to visit my parents to celebrate my dad's 70th birthday. His idea was to ride his bike 70 miles for his 70th birthday. So me and my beautiful girlfriend, we went down there to accompany him. We set out for 70 and we settled for 84. So go Paul Miller. He's also capable of dunking a basketball on his 40th birthday, so this wasn't any surprise. Anyways, so he's been a big bike advocate. I love riding a bike, and part of his way of doing that to me was giving myself a bike on my, 27th birthday, and he said, "This might change your life." A year later, I was packing my bike up to ride across the country. He didn't expect that. But I was doing it with a friend that I graduated grad school with, Brett, and what do you do when you get your master's from University of Chicago? You don't plow into all the full sea of jobs that are out there. You make an excuse to go for a bike ride and avoid that at all costs. So we called it an art project, and we created a blog, and we used our artistic abilities, having a master's in fine arts, to go for a bike ride and encourage people to follow us. This is before social media and before we had smartphones. I still had a flip phone, but we created a blog so people would support our ride as we attempted to go from Chicago to Portland to San Francisco, and we limited ourselves to photo, video, and writing to encourage people to support us and follow us. There's so much to unpack in the ride, but one particular moment that stands out is when we were leaving Boise, Idaho, and we had been into the ride for 5 weeks or so, and you can imagine 5 weeks, your differences definitely come out with somebody that you only known for a year or two. So at 5 weeks, we're attempting to get to Portland, and we have to get there in time to meet my cousin who's going to host us in his family's big, beautiful house. But it would require 7 full days of riding anywhere from 70 to 100 miles just to get there before he leaves with his family to go to Baltimore for a wedding. And I can't imagine going there to appreciate his support and not seeing him, not being able to be there to hug him. And I made the plan, like, we gotta push it, gotta go. So we're about to leave Boise, and I am rested and ready and rearing to push and pump some miles and go. But the night I'm resting, Brett is out on a date with a squirrel rescuing rock climber he fell in love with at a coffee shop. Brett is, yeah. Was that? Oh yeah, could have been. I forgot her name. It might have been like Charlie or something. Yeah. Anyways, that was very uncharacteristic of him. He's also quite a bit shorter than me, a lot lighter than me, and vegan, vegetarian, trying his best to maintain his protein and all things on the ride. So he's a lot more sensitive, especially when he spends the night going out taking tequila shots. He's just, it's okay. So the next morning, I'm ready to go. He's hungover as I've ever seen him, and he definitely looks like it. As handsome as he is, he looks hungover. So we start to ride, and he's slagging, and it's just pointless to even try to get him motivated. So 30 miles in, we give up. there's way more that happens in between then and now. But we stop at a diner, and he needs to drink water. He needs to just rehydrate. The blog lets us get donations constantly. So at that moment, I got a donation from a college teammate and buddy, Zach May, who is somebody I played college basketball with, the smallest, skinniest, whitest guy on the court, but an All-American because he had the heart. He pushed the best out of us, and he motivated us. And then that time, I'm thinking, wow, I just got a donation from Zach May. I got to tell Brett about that spirit. Hey, you can do it. You can overcome it. You can achieve anything you want. Even if you're hungover, we got to do it. You can do it. He gets up and goes to the bathroom. I'm thinking, what did I say wrong? He comes back and tells me what I said sickened him. He didn't agree with my positive perspective. And in fact, he still had throw up dribbling down his chin that when he talked flicked into my face. And in the middle of this cute little truck stop diner, everyone's looking at us like, what's wrong with this couple? I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. I was emotionally drained. I didn't know what to do. So I said, I'm going to go outside. I just got to get away from the situation. I'm not going to fuel that fire. I just got to wipe my face off and let him cool down and just accept it as I tried, but it didn't work out. So I had to replace a tire. So I figured that's a perfect time to do it. Give yourself a task. Take your mind off the situation. And I went outside to process my emotions and change the tire because I had been carrying an extra one and was ready to put a new one on. In the parking lot of this nowhere land truck stop parking lot, a big rig pulls in. A trucker pulls out and gives me the standard from where to where. They can see that I've been biking for a long time. I don't look the best. I have a beard that looks normal. I'm over time. I'm sorry. So the truck driver tells me that he went on a bike ride when he was in high school with a friend, and they got in a fight, and they split ways, and he regrets it. And he told me, don't let anything get in between you. And I was like, holy shit, I'm in a fight with my buddy right now. We got to finish this ride.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you so much, and thank you for making that happen in such a short period of time. Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary friends, family, we love you so much. We are so humbled that you chose to be here for our first Grown Folk Stories back in the after times. I do want to make a couple mentions of some things that are happening, and I'm going to pull up one more person before we close the night. This is our tour of the West Side. This is our first of 3 different Grown Folk Stories that will happen at different spots along the West Side. The next one is going to be August 19th at, and I'm probably going to say it right, is it 345 Gallery? Is that how you say it? Okay, I didn't know if it was 345 or 345. Anxiety. Which is just around the corner at Carol and Kedzie-ish. Carol and Kedzie-ish, and I'm going to ask Corey to come up and say a few words about that. But before I do, because you're not going to listen to me if I do it afterwards, I need us to give rounds of applause to other people who made this night happen. Can we please shout out, give all of our love to the Urban Produce team once again? Alicia, Audrey, Barry, thank you so much. And Barry, you didn't get to tell your story, so now you have to come next month. And then I also want to shout out a couple other people. Angie right here, who's taking pictures, who handles all of our social media. Stefan, I knew I was going to say it wrong. Stefan, who's making sure that all of the tech works and it's streaming and all of that wonderful stuff. And our man in the sound booth, Ricky, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys all so much. Grown Folk Stories is a production of The Silver Room. Tonight's event was sponsored by The Silver Room, so all the wonderful snacks that you got, the sound, is all because of Eric Williams. Thank you so much, Eric. We appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you to me as well. I do it because I love you. I really, really do. This is just such a wonderful honor of my life to be able to host this space. Cara Burgundy, anybody know Cara? Shout outs to Cara, who started this space, I think created some really big shoes for me to fill. Don't anyone go around and tell Cara that I said she had big feet, because that's not what I said. And I'm just really pleased that she thought that I was good enough to host this in her absence. This makes me feel really, really, really wonderful. So we hope that you will join us in August. We also are looking for a space for September. So anybody who knows any good spaces that can house a lot of beautiful folks, please get in touch with Eric or myself, or grab us at the end of the night. We would love to bring this to more spaces on the West Side. And then, in October we are returning to our home at Green Lane Performing Arts Center in Hyde Park, and we hope that you continue hanging out with us there. So I'm going to have Corey come out and close the night, just sharing a little bit about his gallery, 345 Gallery, and maybe telling a quick story if he'd like. Come on up. Oh, just kidding. All right.
Hey, I'm Corey, aka Shar. Sisters, how y'all feeling? And that's every color of sister out here. Sisters, come on, give it to me. How y'all feeling? Brothers, and that's every color of brother. Y'all all right? Y'all good? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for inviting me up as Corey Williams, aka Shar. I am happy to be the manager of the events at that beautiful space, and I hope that we do get to see every one of your faces to tell those stories that's still in that pot that we didn't get to hear. So I'm not sure if this lovely, beautiful, talented host will be there. I hope so, to help me kind of get this started and going and keep it in the same flow and energy that she had. But definitely, if you were in that pot, we're going to allow you to tell your story first and foremost, or in any orderly fashion, as she stated. But we are located 345 North Kedzie, and that is in the East Garfield Park area there. So please come by on August 19th. We are so happy to host this wonderful event. And I feel like stories, I got a really cool story. I recently, 20 years ago, because I'm about 22, so judge if you want to, it's all good. I experienced a water birth. And I was talking to the lovely young lady. I'm not sure of her name right now, but she was just here. Oh, there she is. Hey, girl. Yes. We were talking about, I was congratulating her on her new child that she's expecting, her daughter. And I said, I always tell people when I see them pregnant, like, try water births. She's like, was it easy? Hell no, it wasn't easy. Shit. I wanted to die, like, every second that I was there. I hated it. And it was horrible. I shitted, pissed, and all that, on the doctors, on the everybody that was in there. My sister ate Doritos. Her breath smelled like shit. I'm like, get away from me. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is stupid. And I'm dead serious. This is a real ass story. But I wasn't even planning on telling that story, but God is good, and just, I love organic flow, and this shit's so natural. But anyway, I'm there, and I'm like pregnant and mad and ready, and there was a championship game on. My daughter was born June 10th, and nobody gave a fuck about me no more. They were like watching the game because West Suburban just let anybody in the room, like when it's natural. Oh, you can hire everybody in here, and like, don't tell the dad that shit. Everybody in here for real, and nobody's caring about me except my midwife. So, I'm just there and like dying, slowly and shitting and pissing, like I said. No boils on the ass and none of that. No stripper pole falling on my neck and all that shit, but just pregnant and just ready. So I get in the jacuzzi, and I'm like, oh my God, this water is hot as hell, but it feels good, and I'm ready to push. So my daughter comes out, and umbilical cord is cut, and it's all kind of bloody, nasty ass afterbirth shit in there. And I'm in there like I'm at the resort in damn Beverly Hills, Calabasas. Like, this feels so good. But I mean, again, the moral to the story is natural birth is awesome. Congratulations again to you and anybody that's pregnant, if you know it or not. Congratulations tonight. Water birth, I recommend. But that's my own personal story. It has nothing to do with the gallery. That's just what it is. But also, too, I have some wonderful brochures. If you have any questions in the 5 minutes that we'll be here after I drop the mic, we would be more than happy to answer any questions. But if you do attend our session that we're going to host on August 19th, we would love to talk to you about our facility, the art, and anything else that you may, have questions about. But right now, I want you to whip them cell phones out if they're not already out. Y'all ain't filming me and like got me on live. Ain't nobody up here ain't nobody got me on live or nothing. This shit just over because they said it was ending. Y'all ain't even filming me no more. Damn, like what the hell? I'm like, what? Oh, hey, hello. So we would love for you guys to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, not or, and Facebook. We are at 345 Art Gallery. Again, Instagram and Facebook. I'm not going to actually drop this mic because I can't afford to pay for it, but that's my whole mic drop. That's all I got. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shar. And I'm so sorry. I thought Corey was coming up. Shar, everybody. Woo! All right, folks, make sure you stop at the table, get information about Urban Produce, come over here, see Corey and Shar, learn about 345 Gallery, and good night.